Ooh. So in Hanover, Germany, September is also a summer month. Oh, this week is so hot. But we're not going to talk about the weather today. I want to talk about hospitals. And particularly, I want to compare hospital stay and cost between Germany and the USA. Hey everyone, I'm Eric, an American living in Hanover, Germany. And yeah, as I already pointed out, I want to talk about hospital cost today. And believe it or not, I've got some numbers for you. I did a little research for this video. But, does anyone remember that I was in the hospital for a week earlier this year when my appendix burst? And to give you an idea where I'm sitting, yeah, it's a bit bright, but that's the hospital right over there. I stayed in one of those rooms. There's the river. You all know where I'm at. The stadium's over there. Ooh. And I want to get comfortable here, but the sun is moving really fast. So bear with me. I think I'm gonna have the sun in my face for a moment, but this is a good spot. I like it. And with all the bikes going past, I hope that I don't get too distracted. But if you know anything about me, you've seen in most of my videos, I spend a lot of time looking around. So as I said, I spent a week in the hospital here in Hanover, and I was really surprised by how much I had to pay afterwards for my week. It was exactly 1 week, 7 days. But before I tell you how much I paid, a lot of you Germans probably have a pretty good guess already. But I want to give you some numbers, because this is just absolutely disgusting and shocking, and so many words to describe what this is. Did you know that here in Germany, the average case cost, now I had a little bit of trouble getting comparative numbers because I couldn't find like a similar source for the US numbers and the German numbers for hospital stays and cost. But I found a couple different websites, and I had to do some of the math myself to kind of even it out for the sake of this comparison. The average stay in the hospital here in Germany is 7.2 days. In the US, it's 4.6. So the US pushes people in and out of the hospital a bit quicker. I'm guessing because the cost is so much higher. Now, the average daily cost to stay in the hospital here in Germany. Now these are the numbers, to the best of my knowledge, that the insurance companies get billed. Okay, so the total cost from the top, not what the individual person is paying, but what the hospital is billing. So the average stay cost in Germany is 707 euro per day, $757. And in the US, that daily cost, 2,700 euro, $2,900. Average daily stay in a hospital in the US. More than 4 times. My brain just went blank. 4 times, 704. Yeah, roughly 4 times as much to stay 1 day in the hospital in the US. Now granted, the average stay is less, but I guess that's the most important number right there. The average daily cost. 700 euro here in Germany. 2,700 euro in the US. Now, so I stayed exactly 1 week. And I know how much my Krankenkasse was charged, and it was right on, spot on. A little more than 5,000 euro, which is the average case cost in Germany. Now in the US, I can't believe this. 13,000 for average 4.5 days. 13,000. Now the insurance that I had before I moved here, when I was living in the US, the insurance that I had, it was quite good. I thought it was quite good in comparison to medical insurance in the US. But for something like this, I would have had to pay 20%. So if the average, say the average was $13,000, I would have had to pay 20% of that, up to 3,000, but I would have paid 2,600. That's out of pocket, $2,600 that I would have had to pay. That would have been roughly 4 to 6 weeks of work income after taxes and everything. That would have been 4 to 6 weeks of income for me to pay that out of pocket cost. Now, the 5 days that I would have not been working because I would have been staying in the hospital, that would have been money lost for me. I got paid weekly, so that right from the top, that would have been 1 week paycheck that I was missing. And most people, including most of my life, I lived paycheck to paycheck. So missing 1 week right off the top would have hurt me. Now, depending on the reason why I missed, like would I have to miss more weeks for recovery? I don't know. Like in this case with my appendix bursting, I know that I would have gone, in the US, I would have been back to work as soon as possible. Thinking back to how I felt, I bet after 1 week I would have pushed myself back to work, if not sooner, but let's just say 1 week. So 1 week in the hospital, 1 week recovery. I missed 2 weeks of work. I don't think that that would have been enough. Maybe I could have made a claim for my short-term insurance. I did have a short-term insurance. So like if I was sick or injured for a short amount of time, I could make a claim. I think 2 weeks would be fine for that. But this was so long ago and I never made a claim. I don't know, I can't remember how that worked. But right from the top, I would have missed 2 weeks of work. Somewhere in there, I would have had to make a claim. Like maybe I would have gotten some money back. It wouldn't have been the full amount, but I would have likely gotten something back. So right there, I'm out money. You know, I'm losing money. And so I'm behind, losing the money, and all my bills are behind now. Now I got to come up with 4 to 6 weeks worth of income. That's going to take me 4 to 6 months in the US. It's going to take me 4 to 6 months to pay for it. With everything falling behind, I'm assuming that this whole 5 days in the hospital, it's going to take me about a year to recover from this. That's just, we'll call it an educated guess based on my experience. Now, what I want to tell you is how much did it cost me to stay a week in the hospital here in Hanover, Germany? I forgot where I was. What was I saying? Yeah, I totally forgot where I was. Oh. Okay, so how much did my 1 week in the hospital cost me here in Germany? Someone told me, a few people told me, and I was expecting this, but I was really curious. It took, I think it took 2 months, 2 or 3 months. It took almost 3 months. It took 2.5 months for me to get a bill. And I got it from the Krankenkasse. Oh, this is something else too. In the US, we wouldn't get a bill to pay from the insurance company. We would get separate ones. So like the hospital would bill the insurance company and then bill you. Any other thing, like if there was any lab work, like if you had your blood tested or whatever blood work done, the lab would also send a bill. Anesthesia, like all of the different areas, like the hospital doesn't even work as one. Like all of these different things would send you different bills, which is really fucked up. So you'd get all these different bills, but here in Germany, to the best of my knowledge, and this is what it appears, the bill was one and was sent to my Krankenkasse. And then the Krankenkasse sends to me what I would pay. Oh, also the ambulance, the Krankenwagen. So like I took the ambulance to the hospital, and in the US, doing that would have been a separate bill. So the ambulance company would have sent you a bill for that. So that would have been different too. And I think that would have been, I don't know, I forgot to look that information up. $1,000? Maybe that would have been anywhere between $600 and $2,000 for all I know. I've heard stories about people taking a taxi cab or calling Uber or something because it's so much cheaper than taking the ambulance. I forgot to look that up. So what did it cost me? €80, 80 euro. 1 week in the hospital. 80 bucks. It didn't break me. In fact, I didn't lose any money. My pay was covered. In fact, I missed a whole month of work and got my full pay. So, what's the problem? What's the problem? I don't know, but I'm not complaining. I'm quite happy about it. It's a nice benefit. So, appreciate it if you got it. If you don't got it, think about it. Things need to change, especially in the US. So, spent a week in the hospital and it didn't kill me. Although my appendix did try to kill me. So, did I miss something? Did I forget something? If you have any questions, leave a comment. Thank you for watching. If this is your first time to my channel, please subscribe and all that jazz. The last dude that went by on the bike was wearing a Green Bay Packers hat. And the NFL season starts this weekend. So I'll be busy on Sunday nights once again. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the sun and this late summer weather. So, okay folks, bis nächste Mal. Tschüss. Oh man, I'm gonna complain about the heat a lot. The sun's moving too fast and I'm sitting right in the sun. Anyway,